What's good, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadowloak, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to discuss was actually yesterday I had dropped a video right about the homie hangout, and he had put out something about a certain YouTuber, northern rapper guy, whatever, right? And his charges, his paperwork. And I had gotten a few people in my inboxes, right, telling me that, well, he said that the girl lied about her age, so doesn't that count for anything? And that, women do lie about their ages, and, and people have to take that into consideration, and etc., right? And this is true. Women do lie about their ages. You know what I mean? No one's debating that. But here's the thing, though. Now, you, as an adult, you already know how everything works, how the law system is, and what's right from wrong, right? So, as a man, it is your job that if something is coming off as strange or odd, that you do your homework before you make any advancements, right? Because one of the things that stands out from people breaking down his explanation that I seen on Chemo Flix, right? Go subscribe to Chemo Flix channel. Is that the fact that you pulled up to them and asked them how old they are. The fact that you're asking them how old they are should have already been an indication from the gates, right? Because obviously, if you're asking how old they are, then obviously they look young, right? Because why else would you ask how old they were? Um, so that already, showed that you had some idea that these females were um, potentially underage, right? So now, even if they did tell you their age, right, and they lied, let's say, oh, they said that they were this age, right? Because some women are of age but look younger, right? But now, like I said, as an adult, that's when you should have done your some homework. Like, I don't know, let me see your ID just to make sure, because as a man, that's what you got to do, because you know right from wrong, and you know the sticky situation. It's all on you, right? Now, if you just choose to take their word for it, like, oh, they said that at this age, fuck it, that's all I need, then you just don't want to dig. You just don't want to, you really don't want to look into it, because you just want to satisfy your urges. You don't care about finding out the truth, because if you did, you would actually, look into it. But you're satisfied with this because, in all true reality, you don't really care. Because why else wouldn't you look into it? That's why you're satisfied with this. Because you really are just looking to satisfy your urges. Because if something comes off as, well, how old are they already? It should be an indication, right? And now, here's the thing. Even though they may look older and lie about their age, I find it funny that people on a day-to-day could interact and know the difference. You can tell the difference from when you're talking to somebody of age and somebody that's underage, just by the dialogue, their hobbies, their interests, just their mannerisms and how they behave. You're able to tell when somebody is immature or young compared to somebody who's of age. People can't say that that's not true, or but like I said, people always make excuses, right? They want to pick and choose when people are able to recognize stuff and when they aren't, right? Like with other people, they call them immature, or man, that's because they're young. But they can see it like that. But then when it comes to cases like this, they're gonna all of a sudden like, oh well, you can't tell sometimes, and you get what I mean? But it's like, no, they were able to tell. That's why they had to ask them how old they were, because if not, why else would they ask that question? Because something was already coming off as off, right? Because why else would you ask that question? You know what I mean? And then now people could say, well, they just wanted to make sure that they weren't underage. Oh, so they are aware that this and this happens. So how come they didn't do, their due diligence? I mean, if you're going to take a leap like that, right, where you're going to look to now have intercourse with somebody, I think you would want to investigate if they're of age before you get yourself in a fucking mess, right? Because that's your responsibility as an adult. You're the adult here. Of course, she's going to lie, manipulate, and stuff like that. She is underage and misguided. You're the adult. You're the one that comprehends. She don't comprehend. She's going based off of hormones and emotions. The difference between adults and children. That's why the parents are always to blame when something happens at the house. That, let's say, if the kid grabbed the gun or something, the parent goes to jail. The kids don't know no better. And I get it. They look of age, and if they're sleeping around and stuff like that, people automatically want to age them up now and be like, oh no, well, if they're doing this and that, then they got to be seen as adult or treated like adults. That is the most stupidest thing ever. That's why they actually got rid of, YAs and all of that, bro. Because no, they are not adults. So you can't treat them as adults. And you can go and argue with the science. You get what I'm saying? I get it. People's emotions get the best of them, right? And, they see things a certain way, especially if they're out there, misbehaving or wanting to act like they're grown-ups and stuff like that. So, people's aggression towards that and being like, no, well, good. Well, if they want to be like adults and they're old enough to do this and that, then no. But that's not how it works. They're misguided children. If they would have had some proper parenting, they wouldn't be out there in those situations. This person, as the adult who has comprehension of everything that's going on, should have, been an adult and handled the situation better. But no, he was thinking with the wrong head. And now this is the reason why he's at fault here. And why the parents are always at fault. Because they're the adults in this situation. You get it? So I understand that people lie and deceive, but like I said, you are just able to tell. And like I said, with just the question in itself that he himself said that he asked, should have already been an indication right there. Now, and it's crazy when people, choose to lie, right? Is that when they're trying to think of the lie on the spot, on the fly, especially when it's better when it's on video, because when it's done face to face, it's a lot more harder to prove that the individual lied because it's just it's just verbally, right? So when no witness is around, he could say that he never told you that, right? So it makes it a lot more difficult to point out their deception. But it's foolish that these individuals come on camera and try to lie about this stuff, right? Now he had tried to say, and he made sure he hammered it home, right? He made sure he hammered that the reason how his charges got swept under the rug and and all this and that was that they have gotten a good lawyer. That they got a good lawyer, an expensive lawyer. He don't know how his mom did it, but they got an expensive lawyer, right? So he made sure that people knew that this guy was a good lawyer. That's the reason how he was able to do what he was able to do. Okay, and that this lawyer said he would expunge the sex charge, right? But you cannot expunge a sex charge, especially a sex charge when it's with an unlawful sex act on a minor. It is something that you cannot expunge. A sex crime cannot be expunged on a minor. When you commit acts like this on a minor, that cannot be expunged out of your record. I'm not a lawyer, and I know this, right? Because I educate myself on the laws. So you're telling me that this expensive lawyer that you made sure that that to hammer home that this guy's one of the best lawyers, he's an expensive lawyer, so he's a good lawyer, didn't know this. Didn't know that you couldn't do that, but he told you that he was going to do that for you. So this lawyer didn't even know his laws, but he's one of the best. Something's not adding up here, my boy. Right? And now, why, if you have nothing to hide and stuff like that, then why are you choosing to lie then about something already? People only lie when they're trying to hide something, bro. There's no other reason why they do it. You know what I mean? So I don't gotta explain this to people. It's just like stuff like that that just doesn't add up when people try to bring their stories. And I get it, because people, well, sometimes I don't get it, right? Like how people aren't able to connect the things, right? Like I'm just like, yeah, but he said this is that, and it doesn't make sense with this. Like, how did people not catch that? It's a trip. But overall, um, this is the reason why it works out the way it does, right? And now people could be upset or defend him or not like the situation and whatever. Be, Overall, in general, the paperwork shouldn't matter to anybody except the Northerners and how their stuff and their structure, right? So you may not like it. Somebody else may have their opinions and voice this and that on their paperwork. None of that shit matters. When it comes to the gangster world, they're gonna see how they're gonna see it, and can nobody change their mind, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and you can be mad all you want, but it's not gonna change the facts. So, it is what it is. Now, he was convicted, right? So, he was seen to be guilty. So that in itself should be, satisfying for the civilians, right? Because people are always going to want to tell the lies that they're going to want to tell, and people will try to believe them because they're feeling some, compassion or because some sad story was told, that then now they're feeling like some form of remorse or guilt or whatever. But don't be played by individuals, deception, right? Because they're tactics that they use to get people, to manipulate people, to get them, to reel them in. A lot of people do that. Truth doesn't matter is a lot of people know what they're doing, right? This ain't their first rodeo, like they say. But overall, that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Chat. We out.